And it really gave me the opportunity to express myself in a way that I wasn't able to really do with other mediums. I mean, prior to VR, I had done a lot of mixed media work. I did painting and photography and combined different things with light boxes. And I even did some 3D artwork where I had photography that you could put the chroma depth glasses on and the image would pop out in 3D in different dimensions. And then I also did some physical 3D stuff where I created light box with LEDs backlit and they would change colors. And some of them you would be able to also use the 3D glasses and get another multiple dimensional experience. And, I was always doing something to push it a little bit and see how far I could go and see how far I can share a message of light as well. And it became just an amazing reality to use virtual reality in that way. I thought I was doing things in 3 dimensions until I got into VR and I was just completely blown away. So that's just a little bit of the background. And I'm based in Miami. I'm looking to start traveling a little bit more and looking to also expand the virtual reality art into multiple user experiences. So hopefully soon I'll be able to share some of that work along with, I also do healing arts. So to be able to connect the healing arts with that experience in the multiple dimensional reality of VR. So yeah, that's a little, I mean, I could probably speak for hours on it. So I'll just stop there for now.
Well, that's great. And I'd mentioned before, but like I recently got into VR, got a headset and all that, and it's it's almost overwhelming on like just all the possibilities. I couldn't even imagine. I really need to get in and look at some of your piece in the 3D environment.
Yeah, I'm looking to put together, I have a little link list on my VR page on my website. So if you go to elisachristine.love/virtual reality, I'll put that in the voice chat.
Oh, perfect.
You'll be able to see some links to some of my art pieces. I have some artwork in VR chat, and that's a public space. And that's in a VR world called the Moksha VR Gallery, which is a really cool artist collective out of Miami and worldwide. Founded in Miami, and I've been a member of that collective for, I don't know, at least 15 years. And so it's really cool to be able to also participate with them in the virtual world as well. They created their gallery a few years ago, but really launched a full on functional version and launched it in VR chat last year. The pandemic brought a lot of virtual abilities. Everybody started using it a little bit more, so it became something that people can actually experience more. And
Yeah.
then I also have, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say, yeah, definitely sped up the whole adoption of these technologies.
Oh yeah, for
Particularly.
sure. I mean, it really makes a difference just having the ability to share it with more people.
Absolutely.
So yeah. And then there's also a world in Altspace VR that I created um, an art exhibit for Art Basel last year, which, if you're not familiar, every year there's the big art exhibit event in Miami. And it originated in Basel, Switzerland, and then in the summers, and then in the wintertime, they have a version in Miami. And it just basically takes over Miami, Miami Beach, Wynwood, like the entire Miami is completely art centric. And it was canceled last year. So I was really inspired to keep it moving in some way and created a virtual gallery and included a bunch of NFT artists from around the world. So that is a very cool gallery because it's all made with NFT art. So that was a lot of fun to put together and to curate and to get connected with a lot of the other NFT artists as well. So that is also up and public in Altspace VR. And those links are on my website.
Awesome. Yeah, I was actually down in Wynwood recently. The place is amazing.
Oh yeah? When were you here?
I was in town for the Bitcoin conference,
Okay.
but I didn't actually go to the conference. I went to like
Yeah, no.
NFT
That
meetups.
conference was insane.
Yeah, I just like wandered around Wynwood, and because I'm in Central Florida most of the time, and I hadn't been down to that part of Miami before Wynwood, so it kind of blew my mind. All the art.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely evolved too over the years. I mean, I remember before Wynwood was Wynwood, it was before it was Art Wynwood.
Right,
It was
right.
like a bunch of warehouses and, empty lots. It's definitely evolved
Yeah,
since.
it still has that CD feel, but with all the art and everything, it's like the safe CD, I guess.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's kind of a weird
And
way to put
it's
it.
gotten a lot of more mainstream, basically. It used to be, it really used to be an art world for artists, made by artists, by, for, and for artists. And now it's gotten a lot more commercialized. I mean, there was not one coffee shop or one bar anywhere near there. Like you had to really make a trek to go
Yeah.
get some pizza at that
Nice.
time when we were all starting out. But yeah, it's definitely very cool now. It's a very trendy
Oh yeah,
area.
super hip. Yeah, if you just joined us talking about Wynwood in Miami, um, how it has evolved from a not so nice area to a gorgeous art center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So that was really neat. So I'm really curious on the with the VR art in the 3D space. So when you first transitioned from 2D, or I guess in real life, to 3D VR, was there like with all the new freedom, did you come up with like new techniques and like be able to kind of expand, or was it just more of applying what you did before?
Um, well, what's interesting is it was all new techniques because I had not worked in virtual reality aside from just, there was the way there was it was like, uh, I don't know where to start the story. Like there's so many fairy tale versions of it, but I remember seeing something about tilt brush that someone posted somewhere on social media, and I just saw their promo, and it was like somebody painting with light and space all around them, and I had actually like daydreams of being able to do this just randomly, playing around with talking with friends. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we could just like put something in the air and it would just stay there, right? And
Yeah,
then I see
absolutely.
this tilt brush promo, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. How do I get my hands on it? And it was just coming out. So, you needed a monster PC to run it, and you had to get the full equipment and all of that. So it wasn't very reachable. And then fortunately I saw pop-up, art pop-ups all the time in Miami. So they were doing a tilt brush promo pop-up. So you can go and stick your head in the headset and, scribble your name or whatever in tilt brush. And that's pretty much the experience I had, my first experience with tilt brush. And it was just, it's just kind of odd. You've got controllers in your hand. I'm not much of a gamer or anything like that. I'm actually a little bit allergic to all of these controllers and things. And just something about it was pretty intuitive to use, although I didn't really have access to it after trying it out. And then maybe a year or so later, I had the opportunity to apply for an art festival in Costa Rica, and I didn't know anything that they were doing virtual reality, anything. I just submitted some of my mixed media stuff for review, and then they asked me if I would participate by painting live, doing a virtual thing. And I was like, okay, well, I haven't created not one painting in VR, but I'll give it a shot. And it really worked out well. Somehow it just everything clicked. I got in there, and it was like, it's just kind of like when I create my art in general, I say that it's a channeling, right? It's just
Hmm.
like I get visions out of, I don't know where they come from, and I just feel that I need to share them and express them. And usually my visions are ways of helping people see outside perspectives of the inside out and outside in. It's just like it's a really interesting way. I like to work with energetic healing. And anyway, again, this could go very detailed, but I really found a way that somehow the light just channeled through me, and the controllers were intuitive, and I was able to figure it out, which I just found completely to be amazing. And so, yeah, in learning how to use the tools, I just really dove into the ability to paint with light. You really have, man, it's just, for me, it was very invigorating. And also to be able to stand and move your whole body and not really be constrained to the computer and just being in front of a screen. And at the time that I started doing the tilt brush art, I was on a digital detox. Like, I just wanted to get off the computer and get into nature. I was on a nature detox at the time in Costa Rica, doing permaculture events and honing in on my energy healing skills. And then that happened.
Nice.
Just like, and here I am, just completely immersed in the technology with this thing strapped across my face most of the time. So it's
That's
kind of
awesome.
ironic, but I'm very grateful for all of it.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes we don't choose our paths.
exactly. That's what I was thinking. It's like you went for nature and you got even deeper into tech. That's
And
awesome.
what I do, I paint a lot of nature. I paint trees and, the seed of life. And, I really definitely connect with, the our own inner nature as well, as outer nature. So,
What were some of like the challenges you ran into, like transitioning into that space?
um, well, I'm mostly a Mac person. I've been using a Mac for, I don't know, like, I probably shouldn't share my, ageness, but I worked on like beta versions of Photoshop. You know what I mean? Like, before
Hmm.
Photoshop had layers, is when I started working on the computer. And it was on the Mac. And so PC for me is just a foreign language, and VR doesn't really work on the Mac. So I had to kind of, pick up PC language and just deal with it. And so I have a PC that I've just used for virtual reality, and I'm still in a learning curve there. And I fortunately have some amazing people that help guide me when things are just not working properly. So that's been a blessing. And just, I would say that the technology in general, tech changes so quickly. And
Yes.
although I do use computer and technology, I've never been a tech, I don't know, a deep tech intuitive. It just, I'm like, I'm on the right side of the brain most of the time,
You've never
so,
considered
and
yourself a
having,
techie.
not at all. I am the absolute opposite. And I've always been, fortunate to have people help me. Even with the Macintosh, I had a great, I still do have a great tech friend who just help, everybody just remotes in and figures it out for me. So, in general, I'd say that is a little bit of a challenge, because it's a everyday, if something doesn't work, then, that's a real basic thing. People are like, Elisa, you don't know how to do this, and you're like creating all these dimensions and worlds in virtual reality, and it doesn't make sense, I know, to a lot of people, but it's the reality
That
of
yeah,
it.
that was exactly my thoughts. I was like, wow, like because I'm just watching this video and it's like how can you not be technologically savvy and make these amazing 3D high tech pieces of art?
It's bizarre, but tilt brush is a very organic application. So, the controllers, I'm not putting in code or anything. I press the trigger and light comes out, so I'm actually painting. And the way I move is the way the art comes out. And the other strange thing about tilt brush is it's actually a little too organic sometimes, in the way that there's no way to really line things up. And, like, let's say you want to make sure everything is, on a straight plane, or you want to make sure everything is a certain amount of inches apart. That's just really not exactly possible, So a lot of things are eyeballed in Tilt Brush. So it's a very organic process, which is one of the things I really like about it.
And no snap to fit.
There is a snap to guide. Like you have a certain amount of shapes that you can use. So like a square, oval, a limited amount of shapes. And so you can snap to that shape. So I'm able to make like a perfect circle. Although even those templates aren't perfect. Like, for example, if you trace over that circle a few times, it actually starts to shift off of the circle. So like if you were to do a few things on that circle, they'd all be at different distances away from the original sphere. Mm-hmm. So, it can get frustrating. It's frustrating, but I always bring myself back to the point that this is painting, and when you're painting on a canvas with oil, yeah, you might have a ruler or you might have something to help guide you, but really you're painting free, mm-hmm. And in Tilt Brush, you're painting in 3 dimensions. You're not just painting on a 2D surface. So, trying to line things up, for example, is a bit of a challenge, although I tend to like to make things that are symmetrical and balanced. So I do my best to get it that way. And then at the same time, I just, I let it go a little bit because it's a painting, I'm not in here doing it. There's no code for this to make it perfect. And I think that's one of the things I really enjoy about it, in the way that it really is a unique piece of art, because there are mistakes, you can erase, but you can't change your stroke. So, if I want to get a particular curve, let's say, on an eyelash or something like that, I do it multiple times until I get that eyelash flow exactly the way I like it. Like, you can't really bend the lines after you paint it. So it's kind of cool in that way. It's like, sketching with a pencil. You go in with a few different, you start out light, and then you deepen your tones when you're sketching with the pencil. And then you can finally, put the hard line down when you get the sweet spot that you like. It's really cool.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's a process. And I really enjoy that it's light based. And you can choose to paint in any environment, basically. Like, you can create, I like to work in the space. I like to start in space and have it as a really dark background. And I like to lighten, color with the light backwards, basically. Whereas typically when you're drawing on paper, you start out on a white piece of paper or a canvas, and then you put your paint on top of it. And then you're coloring out the darkness. So, I mean, you're darkening your canvas with color. You can also paint with white paint and then lighten things up. It's quite the opposite when you're working with light. If you're familiar, like, the more light you add, the whiter it gets. So there's also a particular flow to the workflow that I like to paint with a lot of transparency. And so, without the solid colors, which there are also solid colors in Tilt Brush, but I really enjoy the transparency of it, so that I play with how the lights are affecting each other and overlapping each other, and like how you can go through them. And it's more ethereal in that way. It just feels more open as you're inside the paintings. Yeah.
Well, the colors are so vivid.
Yeah, everything it's just driven by light.
So cool.
You're inside of a huge light box. I mean, anyone who's been in VR, what that environment is like, So it's really enjoyable. And there's a lot of different software that you can paint in VR or create in. I just happen to really enjoy the Tilt Brush because it's such an organic kind of a flow.
Do we have any questions from the community? Because I know we could just go on talking.
I wonder how everyone is enjoying the casino. Tell me about it, because I can't see it. I'm not able to get in it. My computer's not allowing me to do that.
Yeah, what happened? I saw that late. It
No, 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 no.
wouldn't load for
It's
you.
just crashing. It just crashes.
Mm.
I tried. It crashes. So, are people playing the casino games and what's going on?
Yeah, they're playing the games. You got your art all over the walls. Here, I can actually let me share my screen. And did you want to like talk about each piece,
Sure.
like we kind of like we did? Okay, let me share my screen, and then you get a view. All right.
Oh, we can see it right here. Awesome.
So here's let's start. Kind of see what it looks like. So which piece would you like to start with?
Mm, I'm not sure. How about the full fat? That one's a fun one.
Yeah, is that the crazy hair, right?
Well, yeah,
Or
it's
bubbles?
she's just a music goddess.
Here, we can open the original. Can you guys hear that?
I don't hear anything but your voice.
Okay. But you can see the NFT.
Let me see. I just see. Yes, I see. Oh, awesome.
Okay,
Yeah, I see the video playing. Thank you. See, technology always works its way out
cool.
somehow.
So yeah, so the still graphic will take you right to the foundation page. This piece
Okay.
is really amazing.
This one, Funk the Color of Music. That one was fun. That I created in an hour for a live VR painting competition.
Wow.
So, and that was painted live and also being auctioned live at the same time. And so when I was done with my painting, it was sold. That was really very cool. And so the people were bidding on it sight unseen. I was
That's
just
wild.
painting and they didn't know what it was going to be when it was done. I had a general not sure idea. It's painting. And so, yeah, really excited that um, that ended up it was a fun project. And that piece um, was for the VR Art Live competition. They're a VR art community. And so it's a good example of if you see that, you go inside the headphones into her head and you see the musical notes playing on the inside of her head. And that's kind of indicate, it's very common from the type of artwork that I create. I like you to be able to journey within. So whether it's with music, light, love, any kind of thing, is just showing you that there's more inside, or more that meets the eye. And music is very dear to my soul, so
Yeah,
really helped move me.
yeah, I can appreciate that. That is really neat.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, the gallery looks really good. It's so cool.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Wow, look at everybody in there. Hi, everybody. Sending you all good luck on the tables.
Yeah, I don't think I'm even in the busy realm. Do you want to look at? You want to talk to this one?
Okay, so this is
Let me get the.
This is a Love Crushed Velvet pyramid, and this is a piece that is actually an element that's inside of one of the VR music videos I created. So I'm also including the unlockable VR piece itself. So you'll have that as a 3D model. I believe I put that in the unlockable. And it's Love Crush Velvet is a band. They commissioned me to do a VR 360 music video, and they're very open to exploring new technology and things, and they're into NFTs, and they're very they're supportive of me trying everything out. Let's see what works. They said they were very happy to have me create and put out different elements of the video, and so we're just kind of seeing what flows. And so it's pretty cool. And this one's called Dreams for Sale, because in his song he talks about it's kind of like a love story that didn't work out in the end, and he says, I bought the dreams you sold to me. And so each panel of the pyramid is a representation of a dream of their life together, or their connection together. And the interesting thing in using the medium, the technology of Tilt Brush, some of these images are photos that I took, and some of them are images that the singer, took, and I did them in a collage. And if anyone's familiar with Tilt Brush, when you bring a photo or a PNG in there, you see the front side of it, but if you go to the other side of it, it actually is invisible. So you only see one side of the photo or the PNG that you bring into Tilt Brush. So the pyramid is, you see the dreams are on the outside, and they were kind of empty dreams. So if you go inside the pyramid, you don't see any walls at all. So it's completely empty, because when you look from the inside out, there's nothing there. So I had fun using the tech with that.
Oh, it totally fits. It's awesome.
Yeah. There's a lot of little nuances in the pieces I make. You know, I don't know. It's just another way of expressing, right? Expressing what it is. So, and the VR music video hasn't been released yet, and I'm not exactly sure when the release date is. So I would be able to share that once that happens. But it's really cool. You can see it in 360. You could you put it up. You can move your phone or device around, and you can see all areas around you.
That's really cool. Yeah, I've seen videos like that. So such a cool technique.
Yeah, it's very, very cool, and I would really love to do more of those. I really enjoy it because you can really bring the person. It connects more people, right? You don't need a VR headset to experience the art.
Right.
You can just be on a regular video.
Is very sensitive. I'm curious about this one too.
This one was fun. So this one,
this took a little longer to load earlier.
Well, this one, yeah, this is. I was playing with. These are like head studies. So, playing with the heads, and also I did I painted this, partially painted live during the crypto, it wasn't during, it was like, what was it called? It was a crypto event in Miami prior to the Bitcoin conference. It was called like the crypto experience or something like that. And they had a big convention at the Intercontinental Hotel, and I remoted in, and I was painting live from my space, and then they had it projected live at the event. and also inside of a virtual world in alt space, they were also projecting it inside that world, so you can watch me painting live during that one. So that was partially painted live. And the music on this one was produced by Josh Trey Music, who I met on Twitter. He had just put a post out saying, you know, if anyone needs music for their artwork, and he has given me a lot of really cool tracks. And we share the proceeds. So anything with his anytime I, you know, collab with someone with music or anything, I'm super grateful, and we share, you know, when they get sold. Definitely happy to share that with everyone who contributes. I've done a lot of collabs with also Marcotic, who's a guild member, and we've got some really cool. I just love his music. I'm such a fan of his music. So looking forward to dropping some of those soon. They're in the video
Oh, cool.
that's playing, but they're not you know, they're not minted yet. So they'll be minted soon as a part of a different setup.
It's like a different
So yeah, I really
series.
enjoy. Yeah, you know, I think there's a few series that are evolving on their own, you know, like all of these crypto heads. They're kind of like crypto funkers. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm going to continue putting some more together. As a matter of fact, I was talking about a little surprise drop that I will be doing during this event, and it'll be another one of those crypto funker type heads.
Nice.
And it's also in the video. It's in the music. It's in the video that's playing at the scene, and I'm planning to mint it on Foundation. I have it actually up on my screen to deploy soon. I have to still figure out what else is needed here, but I am planning to mint. It's a remix that I did with Stella Bell. And I don't know if you're familiar with Stella Bell. She's also a guild member. And it's I was inspired by a remix project to remix her artwork. And so her artwork is called Eat Your Own Art. And I just thought it was so cool. And as soon as I saw it, I envisioned it, the whole thing in 3D and VR. And so I went and created it, and I haven't minted it yet. And it's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun piece. You know what? I can share a link from, I have it on YouTube posted, so maybe I can share that if anyone wants to see it. And
Absolutely.
and the music was produced by Just Trey Music as well. And it's just so crazy. Like I'll just listen to tracks and it happens to go automatically with my artwork, and it's I've been really blessed and fortunate, because I'd rather use other people's that I know, you know, I'd rather use and connect with people than just get something like a royalty free track, right? You know, it's
Right.
just much more better.
Mo better, for sure.
So here is
These are so cool.
my surprise drop.
Yeah, and you can share your screen too if you want to show it that way.
Oh, I just put the link. I don't know. Me and the tech again. I'm on my phone. I'm not sure if I think it's better if I don't press too many buttons and stay connected.
No worries. No worries.
But I just put the link in the voice chat.
Awesome.
Yeah, I do my best. I really do. I do my best to get by and not break anything.
It seems to be
But
working
yeah,
because it looks amazing.
yeah.
It's so cool.
The video that's playing right now in the casino
Hmm.
is it was part of an animation festival, and it's also part of an AR piece. It just finished. But I'm also planning to mint that one, so it'll have an AR component to it, and it'll show that video.
Yeah, it is really cool video.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Thank
I want to
you.
get into VR art. There's not enough hours right now.
Yeah, right.
God.
Well, you don't have to sleep,
True.
maybe. You know,
Sacrifices are made.
it's just a lot. I get it. I'm doing my best to just connect, get my wallet connected and all the platforms and all the coins and all of the
Social media
uh,
and all the.
it's just a lot of I would love to know everyone's secret, everyone's artist's secret. How does everyone manage creating and then promoting and then you know um, just organizing everything and sending out proposals? Like, how do people do it? I'm still doing I'm still, all these years I've been an artist, I'm still just not sure how everyone does it. I see some people that are just so good at their marketing and promotions, and I just wonder, like, how do these people sleep? Do you sleep?
Yeah, I don't know.
God bless.
If you figure it out, let me know.
Yes.
Alright, I want to open this one too. Dream scene. So is this another music video?
Yeah, so this is a clip of where that pyramid came from. So this is a 2D clip of the 3D video. So that pyramid by itself was just you'd be getting the 3D model, and this is you're getting the clip of the video.
Oh, very cool.
And this one is a collage. So that movement you see going around the silhouettes, that's actually a selfie that's going to be minted as well separately at some point. And that is a photo, video, virtual collage as well. So that one has video and photos in the VR.
You hit you hit all the forms of media.
Well, it's also it's just, I'm a photographer, so
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying exploring how to combine the mediums in a way that I can also express my photography work as well, you know.
Yeah, and with the
I
music,
really,
it
really,
goes together so well. It's crazy.
yeah, I really love putting visuals to music.
Yeah, definitely recommend everybody go and check these out on your own so you can hear the audio track with it. Very, very
Yeah, they
Thank
looked and
you.
sound really cool, Murph.
cool. Right?
Man, they're
Amazing.
stunning.
It's really
So
cool.
yeah. So it's all created in virtual reality, or was it a combination of photos and VR?
It's all created in virtual reality, so I can import videos and I can import the photos.
Yeah, wow. So I'm 100RB. I just wasn't sure how to pronounce your name. Was it LUVR Worldwide?
Lover worldwide.
Lover, of course, Lover. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
I heard you
Yeah, and
talking
that,
about Sorry,
no, go ahead.
I was going to say I heard you talking about alt space. And I play a little bit in alt space. Do you make your paintings inside that platform, or is it? I wasn't sure
Yeah,
what the
no,
connection was there.
I created in Tilt Brush and then it goes through Unity, or I mean, I guess it can go through other ways, but the way that the pipeline that I've worked with is it goes through Unity, and I have someone who helps me do the developer side, and they'll bring it into AltSpace. And
Yeah,
it's been pretty cool because in the past I've experienced really smooth transitions from Tilt Brush into AltSpace. Although something recently has changed. It's like just when you think you got it figured out, man,
No, there's
there's
always
just
something new.
there's more to test. And then I
Yeah.
just created a new world and put it into Altspace, and now it's not exactly working as well as it did before. And what it did, it's like we worked out all the kinks on one other project and like got it running. And I was like, okay, cool. Now we got it done. Everything should flow from now on. And that's not the case.
Nothing
So
ever works the way you want it, does it? Especially when you're trying to deploy something. It's like, oh, it's a little bit off.
yeah, I've just really learned that it's just takes a lot of patience. And
Yeah.
I never used to curse this much. And
But
it's
you're an
just,
emotional artist, isn't that you like? Doesn't it come with the territory?
oh, I do. I really, really do. I don't really enjoy that part of, I like to not curse, but sometimes it just really helps get the stress out.
It does.
But yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
so for the most part, you should be able to go from Tilt Brush to Unity into Altspace. I don't really know all the details. Like I don't know if you heard the beginning part of my talk. I'm not so technical. I can keep
I
up a
missed it.
little
Sorry.
bit, but
Yep.
when it's not my expertise.
No, that's cool. Like, I mean, the most I've done is go into VR and have it be like a Microsoft Office Paint, and you just move the controls and it does some like nice ribbons. That's as far as I've
Mm,
done. So kind of see what you've done is that's so cool. I mean,
thank
how did you
you.
find were you a traditional painter? Like, could you paint with a paint an actual paintbrush and
Yeah,
paints, or was it just something that you evolved to?
yeah, I do paintings. I've done not really, mostly with acrylic, not really with oil, and I love watercolor. And I just, combinations of that with kind of making sculpture pieces and painting. So yeah, I have experience painting. I wouldn't call myself a master painter, although I can paint. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty. If I know the techniques of painting,
yeah.
hmm
So that those techniques are kind of transferable from a paintbrush and paint to like a remote and it being digital.
It's really interesting because
Yeah.
um, I'm painting with light instead of a medium. So it's it's really cool. Yeah, you press the trigger and then light comes out instead of paint, you know?
Mm.
And it's kind of like if you're familiar, like, just the same way, I don't know. I mean, I guess like just like working on a tablet, how you're using a pen or something and you're creating strokes like that. It's just it's a similar process. It's just that you're in a 3D space.
Yeah. And a
Hmm
360 degrees as well.
Yeah, all
So
around
you're
you.
truly immersed. Yeah.
So wild.
Yep.
I'm,
Yeah, I really
I,
love it.
that sounds cool. I'm sure it takes hours and hours and hours of practice.
It does.
I'm
It does.
just
You
trying to
know,
stay in the line.
you learn tricks, right? You learn your medium. The more you're working with it, you learn how. Well, I'm learning in any case. I'm always learning something new. And what I love too is working on different types of projects creates a need to figure something else out or to paint it in a different way, or you're presented with a new challenge, So I really enjoy that because, I don't get stuck in the same styles, let's say, or the same routines. I feel that I'm looking forward to picking up something new. Almost all my paintings, there's another new thing that I'll add into it. Like I figured something else out.
Yeah, I guess as an artist, you're always looking for the next new thing that's going to challenge you because you're so work on momentum, right?
Yeah, and sometimes it happens by choice, and sometimes it's just kind of a surprise. I found a
Yeah.
lot of surprises while I'm working. I'm like, oh wow, look what happens when I do this. You know, you press the wrong button and you're like, whoa, that's fantastic.
And now it's the right
Yeah.
button.
Then I'm like, what did I just do?
Happy accidents. Can you control Z in VR? I'm not sure. Probably can.
Control what?
Uh, like undo. I'm sure you can.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can undo a few steps,
Yeah.
but it's also a little quirky. Like sometimes you actually lose what you really wanted. You got to it's sensitive, right? Like you can't play
Oh,
with it too much.
oh yeah, it'll start grouping like multiple steps together. So if you
You'll just start undoing all
right,
over the place.
right,
So
Yeah.
so the,
Can I ask? Sorry, Murph. You go.
no, please go ahead.
I was I was just wondering about the augmented reality component that you just touched on briefly. Um, are you actually deploying your artwork into augmented reality as well?
yeah, a bunch of my NFTs are AR enabled. I've been using Arise and also Artivive, and
Right.
I've done where the artwork will trigger either a video or it can also trigger a 3D model. So some of my pieces on Rarible and OpenSea are AR. Some of them are AR activated, and most of my titles say AR, so that you know to look for that. And I think Arise now the technology has shifted, so I'm not sure if it's quite working. I haven't tested all of my pieces again to see, but I found that some things are not exactly working the way they were. But the
Oh
Arise
wow.
is the Artivive is working, and that's 2D. Then they do like a slight 3D, but it was really cool. And there's other AR platforms that I haven't really explored too much yet. Although, because the things that I was using were working, and now I'm kind of like, okay, maybe it's time to go now looking into something else and see what the alternatives are. Yeah, AR is very great for this medium for me because it gives an opportunity to show more deeper levels of the artwork, like on the inside of it, for example. So you just see a still image and then it gives you more than meets the eye. So it gives you a deeper look into the piece with the AR.
Yeah, well, it's another dimension totally. Like, I mean, you got VR, which is kind of what we are. You got real life, and then now you're going into this other realm of augmented reality. That's amazing. Is that Arise? Is in ARIES?
ARIZE.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I could just fascinated. Obviously, kind of Facebook is doing some big stuff with the whole Oculus and going into AR. So I guess it made sense that you kind of in that place as well with AR and VR.
It's been fun. I've been really looking at, I really would love to expand more. Just the same, there's just only so much time. I've
Yeah.
just so many things that I'd love to just dive into more. And
Okay.
hopefully soon come, there'll be time for everything. Or I'll just say all of the things that are supposed to happen are going to happen.
Well, it's all amazing. It all looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, 100 Rainbows is a big VR fan, right? I've seen some of your work, some of your models in
Yeah,
VR.
I had a humble go. So we had a GLB file that we deployed into virtual reality. So it's kind of cool to have something exist both in VR and AR, and in
Mm.
real life. So you kind of just the thought of it, just the idea of it is just um, it's one thing to kind of think about it, and it's another thing to make it happen. So that's why I was just my ears really started buzzing when you mentioned AR and VR, and that you do the artwork yourself. It's just such a niche area that you're playing in.
Thank you. Yeah, the AR really helps, the 3D model world because now you can put your 3D art in anybody's room or backyard, It really makes a difference. It allows people to experience it if you don't have the headset. All of that
Yeah,
helps.
yeah. I know Murph has a headset. I'm not sure if he's got it out yet.
Oh yeah, I actually finally got it together. I was telling them I'm new to the VR scene, but it took about a month to get it set up, which shouldn't have. Once I did it, I was like, okay,
Mhm.
shouldn't have waited.
No,
but again,
it's
it's
cool.
just the time thing, and I wanted to make sure that I was ready to show the kids too, because I can't just like start it up and then not let the 10-year-old play with it. So
Nah, you won't let it get. You won't get it back afterwards.
yeah, exactly. Um, Awesome. Well, we have 5 minutes left, and I just wanted to quickly touch on the last two pieces. They look like they kind of go together. So are these musicians, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's this one's really cool, and they're in the video.
Hmm. Yeah, so this is it's a 3D model, so it's actually in a half circle, and all of the color, all of the light you see is inside the half circle. And this is a DJ out of Costa Rica, and this is this is a technique that I brought into the VR dimension from something that I did as a 3D light box. So I had originally done a series of musicians where I did photographs. So this is my original photograph that I silhouetted. And the original artwork I had done with imagine a light box with like cellophane and different colored films. And so the light box was, lit from behind with all of these colored films in front of it inside of a box. And it was just suspended in air inside the box. So basically, if you open the box, the entire thing would come apart. All of the films would just kind of like bounce out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did this in VR. And the fun part about this is along the same lines as the original pieces that were physical, is I connected with each of the musicians. They're all my original photography. So either I shot them, either, while they were performing live on stage. I had done a lot of musician photography. And if I wasn't able to get them, or if I didn't have a session with them live, my first Skype photo shoot was, I don't know, 5-10 years ago. It's in the NFT, but that it was when I'll make an NFT to describe it. But I had connected with Third World Band. They're a reggae band, and they were all over the world. Some were in Jamaica, some were in Florida, some were in Europe. And I connected with them all via Skype individually. And I did an actual photo shoot from my digital camera of my computer screen of the Skype call with them.
Wow.
And so that was back in the day with Skype. And with these, I wanted to get these together for the art exhibit I did for Art Basel, and I did actual just video chats. I used the new technology, and I'm like, I'm just going to do a screenshot of my screen rather than get my whole camera out and take pictures of the screen. So this was like a WhatsApp video chat, and I did a screen grab and then converted it into a silhouette. So all of the photography is, I don't know, it's just a fun, innovative use of technology as well.
Yeah, I'll show the other one too.
And that's DJ Spam. He is a pretty well-known DJ in Miami, in the Spam All Stars. He's like a Miami icon. And that was an actual live photo that I had shot. And that's a part of my photography book that I did a photo a day. I did like every days in Miami for a year. And the book is called I Love Miami 365. And that's from the shoot from that day. That's not the photo in the book, but it's from one of the shots that I did that day. I did shots of the band for the book.
That is so cool.
So yeah, there's little connections, like my art has threads that connect to each other, that,
Yeah, they're deep.
little parts.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are at the top of the hour, so I wanted to say thank you so much for coming out and sharing your pieces with us and explaining, your story and some of the backstory on your art. It's been fascinating.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us today too. Such an awesome community, and I really look forward to having you back in. Like, definitely keep in touch. I'd like to see, as you progress with these pieces, and hopefully in the near future we'll be able to, you know, animate these and show these in VR once DCL gets there, and we can do some of your 3D GLB files too.
Yeah, it's all about testing those. Tilt brush and GLB don't get along really so well yet, so
Yeah, we'll figure it
soon
out.
come.
Yeah, exactly. Technology's changing. All right. Well, so you have your links in the voice channel, right? Just to make sure, so everybody can
Yeah, I
check
just
them
put
out.
the link to my website and you can find everything from there. My social medias are pretty much Lover Worldwide on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook.
Awesome. I'll be checking it
Thank you
out.
guys.
Yeah. Thank you,
Really
everybody.
appreciate it. And thank you everybody for joining the chat. I appreciate having a little community connection. Nice to
Yeah,
meet
this is a
y'all.
lot of fun. Everybody have an awesome night.